What's happening, everybody? It's your coach and trainer, 𝐒𝐒𝐑, and I'd first like to wish everybody out there that celebrates a Merry Christmas. On this Motivation Monday, I'm going to be hitting you up with 3 simple and easy steps to grow self-confidence from within. But before I get to the topic of conversation, help me grow my channel and hit the like and subscribe button. I'll give you a second to do all that. Got all that business out the way, so let's get to talking about self-confidence. We all know people who just seem to be just blowing up with self-confidence, and they're able to put themselves out there without a moment's hesitation. And yeah, some of us can be born with great self-confidence, but a majority of us have to grow it. And in order to grow it, you're not gonna have to plant a seed or risk your life and limb or even pay a ton of money. In fact, it's just gonna take you 3 simple steps that I'm gonna highlight right here to grow self-confidence from within and help take that into other parts of your life. So let's get started with step number 1. So really, when it comes down to it, self-confidence is having trust in yourself to do what you set out to do or to achieve a goal. And in order to do it, you have to start with small bits of trust to yourself. So the first step is all about making small but influential commitments to yourself. Now, there's gonna be a little bit more of context to this because I'm not talking about, all right, cool, I promise I'm not gonna suck. Like, what does that even mean? No, what you're talking about is doing several things when it comes to making these small influential commitments. You wanna make sure that they're specific, measurable, actual or realistic, and they're time managed. So you can think of the acronym SMART. So S being specific. I'm not gonna just say I'm gonna stop sucking tomorrow. Let's create a specific behavior that will move us forward. So for instance, if you're constantly hitting snooze every morning and unable to get up, you could say, okay, I'm gonna work on improving my ability to wake up in the morning by not hitting snooze. That sounds a lot more specific. Now the next part is measurable. How can we measure how we're gonna improve waking up and not being on snooze? We're going to set a number of times that we're not gonna hit snooze. Like for instance, if you're hitting snooze like 5 times in the morning, try to hit it 3 or just 2 times. Any number that is less than 5 is something you can measure, and that will give you a small bit of progress towards ultimately not hitting it. And that brings us to the next one, actual/real. It's like a 2-for-1 on that part. It has to be realistic. If you're, again, someone hitting snooze 5 times in the morning just to get up for anything, telling yourself you're no longer gonna hit snooze and you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. to do an incredible workout is not realistic. Doing what I just told you, where you see your current behavior, like you're counting up the number of times you hit snooze, you give yourself a smaller goal of hitting snooze, and ultimately that goal gets you down to 0. So it's specific, it's measured, it's actual and real, and the last one is time. So like you can say for the first week or even 2 weeks, you're only giving yourself a maximum of 3 snoozes per day. There you go. That's how you start. You uphold that commitment since it's not a major one, and then your ability to do things that you set your mind to grows because you see yourself doing it. So step 1, make small but influential commitments to yourself. Remember, SMART, specific, measurable, actual or realistic, and time constrained. That's the first part to growing self-confidence. On to part number 2. So step number 2 comes after we've made our small commitments to ourselves. They're specific, they're measured, they're actual and realistic, and we have a time limit on them. We're probably gonna encounter some slip-ups in the beginning, and the one thing you don't wanna do is just punish yourself. That doesn't teach you anything. It teaches you that it hurts to yourself, but that didn't teach you how to correct the behavior. What you wanna look at is, why did I mess up? You don't just want to punish and beat yourself up and push yourself down. You want to take a look at what you did and then see where you can make better decisions and make better judgment calls so that you achieve the outcome you want. Like if you're trying to reduce the number of times you're hitting snooze, but every night you're going to bed late and you're like, oh, why can't I stop hitting snooze? Your answer's right there. You need to change your bedtime. You need to not look at your phone while you're in bed. You need to do something different that is just not because eventually your tolerance to goes up and you've changed nothing and you feel worse. You need to look at what really happened and then make a better game plan so you can start being more successful. That's the next step. Stop beating yourself up when you miss the mark. Teach yourself instead. So now we're on to the third step. This is one that should often be done at crucial moments in order to encourage that same behavior. I'm talking about rewards. Yeah, you should set up key points along your journey that end in a reward so that you ultimately are encouraged to continue doing that behavior. It doesn't matter how small the milestone, it is worth rewarding, especially when the behavior is difficult for you to achieve. On my own personal journey of stopping drinking alcohol, just getting 24 hours of sobriety was a big deal. And that was something worth celebrating, because guess what? You lather, rinse, and repeat, and another 24 hours comes on, and another, and then you're stringing it together, and that becomes your new normal. So if you're passing off small milestones like, it's only this, it's only that, you're not building yourself up, you're minimizing yourself and your accomplishments, and that does not lead to you feeling better about yourself. So hype yourself up when you hit your markers. Tell somebody, get them in on it too, because that way you build a support system, and that support system started with you. So it all comes down to you making the decision to change the behavior to increase your self-confidence. I trust this 3-step process made it simple and clear and easy for you to understand how you can generate your own self-confidence, and that can grow a support system around you. Check out some of the other videos on my channel for other health and wellness information and insights, and have a great week and a Merry Christmas, everybody.